Hey, garden friends. Welcome to another episode of AJ's Green Thumb. I know I've been MIA for a minute. So finally, I'm getting around to cleaning out this vegetable raised bed area, specifically this Dolichos lablab, or better known as a purple hyacinth bean vine, also known as a Jefferson bean. So this is an annual in zone 7A, which is where I'm at. It's a pretty vigorous vine, and it really attracts a multitude of pollinators. As you can see here, all the bumblebees are going crazy over it. So midsummer, it produces purple bracts or flowers, and those flowers are followed by great big seed pods, which resemble lima beans. They're actually edible. In certain areas in Asia and Africa, they're actually edible, but they have to be prepared a certain way. You need to rinse and soak it multiple times before it's actually cooked. So here I am pruning it midsummer, I'd say probably mid-September of last year. I had to prune it twice for the season. I had to prune it pretty hard. They grow roughly between 15 to 20 feet long. So wherever you plant it, you got to make sure that structure is sound and it has a lot of length on the structure because, like I said, this thing grows pretty vigorously. So I just went ahead and cleaned off this trellis, followed by picking up all of the seed pods that was left over from last season. Because what I understand is not only is this a very vigorous vine, it can be invasive. So just make sure wherever you grow it, that's where you want it to continue to grow, because you'll definitely have a lot of seedlings. So back inside, I'm going through a recent Dahlia order. So I had ordered 3 Arabian Night Dahlia tubers. Here's the eye. So I'm looking right now, I'm basically inspecting the clumps. All right. So these two clumps right here have already been cleaned, trimmed, and right here I'm using a brush or a sponge to knock off the excess dirt so that I'm able to see, what's usable and what's to be trashed from this specific Dahlia clump. So all the little hairy roots, you can go ahead and discard those. And you can tell that this tuber, it dangles, okay? It's not firm. It's not taut or stiff. It's actually in not the best shape. So, like I said, I'm just going through it, inspecting what's viable, what's not. All the little hairs, you get rid of that. The dangling tuber pieces, you go ahead and discard those. And hopefully I'll be left with something that can be planted and is a productive flower. The reason these pieces that I'm removing are not viable is because in order to have a viable Dahlia tuber, it needs to have the body, okay, which are the little chunks that you see in between my fingers. Then there is a section between the body and that crown area, okay, which is called the neck. All right, so it needs to have a body, a neck, and the eyes, which I just showed you guys. So if it doesn't have either one of those, then you must discard that Dahlia tuber. All right, so this is the best we can do with this tuber. Everything's firm. Yeah, this is viable. Actually, I think this might be a mother tuber right here in the middle, but that's a whole other video. But yeah, this is as good as it's gonna get. So go ahead and pot this up in this 4-inch can since it's such a small tuber. And I'm actually gonna kind of lay it on its side because I'm not able to identify exactly where the eyes are. So yeah, I just lay it on its side and I cover it with about 1.5 inches of soil. That's good enough. The soil is moderately or lightly moistened. Okay, and never forget to label Arabian Nights. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and whiz through these other two tuber chunks. Since they're a little bigger, I go ahead and put them in a bigger pot. So now I am just finishing up, putting the dahlias in. And now I'm going to go ahead and pot up the Brunnera. So this variety is called Alexander's Great. I'll throw a picture up on the screen. Beautiful, shade-tolerant perennial. Beautiful. So as you can see, there's some growth. The roots are healthy. Relatively healthy. So I'm not going to cover the new growth. Make sure I label it and just go ahead and whiz through the last two Brunneras. All right, guys, no need to bore you with any more. I mean, because it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just potting up these perennials. I'm going to keep them inside until we get steady, mild temperatures. And then I'm going to go ahead and put them in a protected place until it's time to plant them in the landscape. All right, guys, thanks for watching and thanks for hanging with me on this episode of AJ's Green Thumb, and I'll see you in the next one.